Okay, I'm continuing now the walk back home, and I'm gonna tell you I put gain to the microphone on +5, so I hope this test is really good for the audio. So I hope you listen to me in normal volume. Okay, I'm gonna turn around the camera. Here's Peggy walking around, and these are the streets, these are the sidewalks. I'm walking right now at this time. So if you know how I started this platform that has evolved into many platforms now, in the sense that this began as an audio content on Anchor FM. That's a podcast platform, and it was unique back in the days, 2 or 3 years ago, at least for me, to make some audios and edit the audio afterwards and all that. And they eventually removed stuff when they were acquired by Spotify. So that platform is now fully on Spotify, so the URLs change, the internet address and everything, but still the content is there for you to see. And that was the easiest way to create content, because I just recorded from the cell phone, reading a text, reading a book, and eventually it also became overdubbing or interpreting into Spanish the QLA content from the Castle, specifically the Castle seminar series for each month, and that's how it started. And it was a good exercise, mainly because I needed to get into the topic of finance and the wording and the words in Spanish that I usually didn't have, and translating that helped me a lot during the understanding of the concepts, and also for the upcoming meetings that were planned in the future. So all that helped. So I kept doing it because of that, and I listened to myself, and during the translation process, which was not live but simultaneous, while listening to it, that eventually forced me to study some terms that I could translate faster and not doubt the words that I had to use for Spanish. So I'm climbing a real steep hill right now, and the dog is coming up. Let me reach the top. Okay, wow, this is a nice view from here, although it's full of houses. You get to see some other parts of the city. Okay, so that's the beginning of this, that eventually I started, I think last year, moving the content into the YouTube. And since YouTube doesn't accept audio, I had to find a way to generate the content with video. And you can see that on the brother sister channel, QLABOT, with an S at the end. So I want to say the S is for Spanish. So it's around, it's going to be 5 o'clock in the morning. The sun is not yet. It's about the sunrise will be in about 1 hour. And I'm not talking too loud because I also have earplugs. And on top of the earplugs I have the earphones. And I have two different earphones, one for one phone, one for the other. And I usually speak lower because I think I'm yelling. So I'll check this video how everything is going when I post it. What else? Well, I told you how it started, and I was already into the QLA system when I was overdubbing, translating content and generating the audios. I was already into that because I was lacking language, I was lacking fluidity to talk with credibility, all that. So one of the recommendations of Mr. Peña is to go to some places in the United States that you can practice presentation skills. I forgot the name he mentions. But that was my way, being almost by myself, abandoned on a beach town, to practice and get a hold of the feeling, the talks, the wording, the language of finance. So that was my way. So it's still the way, because I'm not talking to much people anymore. And that's part of the QLA process. And going a little deep on that now, that process of mourning or feeling the feeling that something died or someone died is something that you will have to get used to and recover fast, because you need to deal with the fact that people are gonna run away from you when you're speaking the truth. And the truth, if it's not the truth, it hurts. It's not the truth if it doesn't hurt. That's what I mean, as Mr. Peña says. And what happens when someone tells you the truth, something you don't want to listen? You get offended, you want to run away from that person, or you don't want to see them again because that person will remind you of that truth if you are not dealing with it, or you don't deal with it fast enough. So if you don't deal with that fast enough, what's the response for most people? Well, avoid that other person. In that case, we, QLABOT people, avoid us. If we are talking the truth, if we're presenting the facts and justifying our facts with detail. And that's something really hard with people to deal with in this, especially in this era of fakes and wokeness and and inclusion, diversity, and lack of accountability. So that's hard in this era to deal with, but that's why Mr. Peña says that was make it easier for us. So that's the mourning process you need to get used to. So I don't have much people to talk about with, and the people I talk with are like people who are not into me or just need to deal with me because of something, and probably I take advantage of the time and space they offer me to sometimes talk stuff, but it's not much that I'm interacting with regarding friends or families members anymore. I've gotten in too much trouble, especially with with family, not so much with friends, because I just separated myself from any activities or events totally. But with family, they're around, I'm being around, and because of necessity right now, and the stuff that happened with the government indictment and all that shit forced me to start dealing with them again. Sube, sube, sube. The dog is in the street, so that's the command to tell her to come up to the sidewalk. And okay, well, the mourning process I told you, and the fact that I'm not speaking, and the fact that you need to practice your speaking, I'm connecting all that, and all of the things start making sense to you, and the fact that it's lonely at the top. And espera, stay. Ven, corre, cruza. Okay, we're crossing the street, guys. Oh, by the way, the dog, since we trained, or we talked a lot during the beach time, recording the episodes, the QLA seminars, and all that, she's never been tied when I'm walking with her. So I knew I was coming to the city, and she was never used to a rope or whatever you need to walk the dog. So that's why I'm nervous when I'm talking to this cell phone, not checking on her, and she's randomly walking in the streets by herself. So, and I think I needed to explain that, and I think I trained her mostly well, but the maintenance needs to be kept with the commands, with the stick to hit her, or the punishments, all that. You need to keep maintenance of that because her life is at stake, and well, that's about the dog walks. Okay, continuing, like more random thoughts. My English is awful. I never expected it to be so awful. So I think I need to put a persona to put a better voice for you guys. And I think I did it by jokingly one time in the past videos for quite some seconds, but I'm gonna try now because I know how to speak well. At least I can listen well, So part of the process is to make up a persona so you can be less annoyed with a Spanish speaker whose main language is not English. So I will try my best, guys, to not sound like a girl's best friend talking in English, and you feel more comfortable listening to me speaking beautifully while walking on the streets of this city, this corrupt city, dirty city that has a potential if I make QLA system work for me. And I think that's the persona I need to put when I am talking to you guys. Okay. Well, that's about it. I'll need to put some... I'm off the persona, guys. It's too draining. And I'm climbing up hills. I'm checking on the dog. And trying to come up with topics. The fact that I'm doing these recordings and they seem random, it's good, because at some point I'm gonna make writings about each of the topics, and probably I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna tell the artificial intelligence, I don't know how we can call her, to do it for me, and eventually start coming up with a book of all the topics for someone with no self-esteem and no finance background, with shitty economic, family, environment problems, to do QLA in this environment. So that's coming up, and that works. I know, because I've heard Dr. Jordan Peterson regarding writing, which is something good for your own story, for your mind, for your self-talk, and probably growing some self-esteem, which, as you might notice, I was shocked I didn't have. It was a hard impact, and it was debilitating to realize that. Really debilitating. By myself at the beach, with no distractions, just the internal ones, the internal bullshit that totally paralyzed me to doing the next thing I had to do, like pick up a phone and dial some numbers that I already found, and just made the call, insist on a person, insist on the call, or whatever. So that's why we are here for the world, guys, to share and accelerate for others the process, so humanity keeps expanding. So you can connect that with Elon Musk mentality and the fact that we need to keep inspiring and shortening other people's pains and hassles with many of the things that you find and you can overcome quickly. And that's the main thing about sharing. That's the main thing about teaching. That's the main thing about being humans. And connect that with QLA, adding value to the world, and being the best you can. Like the Army, US Army slogan. So, okay, we're going up some steps. The dog is already up. Okay. So these are long audios. I know they're probably boring. I know this will be checked afterwards, not while I am doing these paints. So this will all be used against me in the future. I don't know if I'll unblur it or some geek engineer from YouTube make it go away and take out the blurring before I plan it. And see how all this documentation, which is going online, will work or not against me after I do the first series of QLA deals in this toxic, corrupt environment. So, going down now. So what else? So another thing I was thinking about talking when I woke up to you guys is man, plan, God laughs. So what happened to me? No. The dog is eating shit from the street. I don't know why. Okay. Man plan, God laughs. So what happened to me with the government indictment was probably legally expected, but not by me. I didn't think the funds I managed for government social stuff was enough to justify what they are doing against me, and which in part was in excess, and also the fact that I gave all the original information and documentation because I didn't want to go item by item. I expected them to do it. So the amount or whatever they were claiming to be missing was totally lowered and sorted out. But now it takes my time, my lawyer's time, my money while doing deals, QLA deals, another distraction, to present proof of all this. And I don't know how's that gonna be, and I worry about how that affects my image in banks, with my directors, and in the community, and also the social things I've been working on for almost a decade, and my credibility and my dreams and aspirations in public positions if needed. So that's the thing, and I didn't expect that, and even though that goes sideways or goes really bad, I know the QLA system will still work for me. So what better thing to be doing than QLA, even you're feeling you're gonna fall down into a rat hole. So that's the thing about man, plan, God laughs. The money I expected to have is being erased. Sube! The dog was in the middle of the street smelling shit and cars were coming. Sit! So she's now punished by sitting. And okay, she's back. And that was unexpected. I expected to have more money. Also regarding man, plan, God laughs, family, toxic family. Oh, totally unexpected. Months to not advance at anything, at nothing. So that's one of the things that really shocked me and drained me mentally, drained me with time, drained my time, and it's still draining me because I need to deal with those persons. And although I'm more like calm now because I realize what's happening, I still need to be telling them the truth so they stop their bullshit. So that's the thing. I'm not going to insist on having any type of collaboration with them. There's none. So I'm asking them what are the limits, and the limits they put, I'm gonna tell them the truth about those limits. Like if we are going to allow addictions in the family, if we are going to allow rape in the family, if we are going to allow violence in the family, perfect. But I will bring it out, those limits that are probably not limits, is everything is open. I'm gonna expose that, so at least they know I know, and that others will know, because I'm also giving them a hint of what's coming regarding public or global exposition about projects I am being part of. So if fear doesn't work, as Mr. Peña says, I don't know what's gonna work with these motherfuckers, because the legal means I could also try, but I was gonna leave it. Ven, sube. I was gonna leave them alone legally to the last resort, which is still my plan. But the psychologists, as you might know from the Psycho series, told me that should be already the tool I should be using against them, which was a shock for me. Anyways, and if fear doesn't work, the legal way is next. And I guess I'm out of topics on the top of my mind, and I was going, one of the next topics, because I just made a video about the two ex-presidential candidates, that I had interviewed for being part of our professional team, like the law firm, and also one for director position. And that gave me an idea also of two multimillionaires over or reaching 80 years old that I had interviewed. And that's another topic. I could tell you how that went out, how that was made possible, what gave me the idea, and what were the results. So that will be another topic for narrating to you guys in English, and you can put it at 2x so you don't listen to me so much time with my shitty English. Okay guys, that's about it, and let's see, Saturday is gonna start and it's more laid back, and we'll see how I advance. I won't take my ADHD. Hey, man. My ADHD medication this weekend to compare it with the past, I guess, 3 days, yeah, and see if all the things I'm doing, like sleeping earlier, sleeping more, and having my magnetic earplugs shutting a lot of the noise out, which I'm practically probably, I don't know, sensitive to, and listening affirmations, positive active affirmations with headphones on top of the earbuds. All that will make an effect for this weekend. So we'll see how that goes, and if I'm at the house, I'll try to make a live video from the computer and keep updating you guys. Take care.